Hey, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Azul, the Stained Glass of Sintra. This is, I believe, the second expansion to Azul, and I played it back in Geekway Mini back at the end of January. And I want to say up front that I enjoy all of the Azuls. This is probably my least favorite. It's the one that I've wanted to return to the least. But it's still a really solid game. I really enjoy these Azul games, and they do some things in it that I think are really, really unique here. The core concept, you can watch some videos to see the full rules of how it works, but you are placing the tiles that you're gaining from the standard Azul draft, fairly standard Azul draft. You are putting them on these columns based on the position of your little meeple here. So if I gain some tiles, I can either put them in the current column of that meeple or any column to the right of it, and then I move the meeple to that column. And this does a couple interesting things. It lets you plan ahead because you can look at all the different options you have planning ahead, and you're trying to kind of maximize that so you don't have to use a turn to reset that meeple back to the beginning. But the thing that I really like about this, a couple of things. One is the variability that emerges from these tiles. They basically, each of these are single tiles that you are putting down here randomly at the beginning of the game, or there might be an A or B side to them. I'm not sure, but the order of them is random. I think there is an A and a B side. But you are randomly creating your board at the beginning of the game, which adds a lot of variability to the game. Even though there's plenty of variability in Azul, Core Azul, due to the draft itself, the board itself is not variable. And so this does create a really nice variable board at the beginning of every game. And throughout the game, as you complete these columns, you actually, the first time you complete it, you flip it over. Let's see, and you flip it over, and then you have a different side to complete. And then when you complete that side, as you can see in this photo, you actually remove the column entirely. So you have this sense of completion and progress throughout the game because I know, hey, at this point in the game, I have removed all these tiles. And you can look around the table and see, oh, wow, Joe has removed 4 of his tiles. Megan's removed 2 of hers. I gotta catch up. I gotta get a move on it and complete these tiles. The other thing I really like about this version of Azul, and it carried over into Summer Pavilion, which is my favorite Azul, is the bonuses from round to round for gaining and completing columns with specific colors. So if, like in this column right here, if I complete this column with the kind of the clear color in this round, if clear is the current color for bonuses in that current round, I get +1, I believe, for each of the clear tokens in that column. And you know that from the beginning of the game. You know all of the rounds and you know all the colors in all those rounds. So I can plan ahead and say, okay, next round, I want to make sure my meeple is positioned correctly so that I can complete this column. Say this pink column I have 5 pinks showing here. And so I see that pink is coming up. So if I can somehow get enough pinks in that round, and I complete this column in that round, then I'm going to get a bunch of points from it, which is really satisfying. It's a nice way to plan ahead. At the same time, all of the players are looking at those bonus points. And so pink is going to be more valuable that round. So it's actually pretty hard to get a full column of pink in that round because all players are going after the pink tiles that round. But yeah, those are various mechanisms using these columns, the bonuses, the removal of the different column tiles, I think are really clever additions to this version of Azul. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these mechanisms, if they make you think of another game, or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Azul, the Stained Glass of Sintra. Thanks.